Half a day, everybody. I love summertime sports, and for one of our island's very best footballers, she went right from the regular season soccer. She was into the playoffs over at the Harvest Eagles and went right to the mainland and continues her training and is competing at a very, very high level we have here in the KUM News Zoom room. Of course, our good friend Coach Kristin Thompson, now coaching at the St. James school over the academy over in Virginia, and Caden Milner, the great Harvest Eagles player. So half a day to you both. It's good to see you guys.
Hi.
Okay, and first of all, congratulations, because I know you're talking to me. You guys are on the West Coast right now, and you guys are just coming off a 2-0 victory that you guys just had. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, Caden, how are you finding the level of competition there? The climate, the expectations, and just the overall competitive vibe.
Yeah, it's definitely a faster paced game than what I'm used to in Guam. It's been a really big adjustment to go from a very physical play in Guam to the more technical and fast paced game that we play here in the States. So that's been something that I've had to adjust to, but it's been really good to like push myself in that direction. Um, and then yeah, Coach Kristen's been really good. Like I haven't felt like stressed or like I have to like perform a certain way. Like they've been really good to just welcome me as a guest and just I'm having a lot of fun getting to know the team and yeah.
Okay, that's a good angle right there. So how is the chemistry between you and your new teammates, and how long did it take you guys to like gel? Because I mean, you're all playing the game that you all love, so you've
Yeah,
got that in common. But I mean, there is one thing to say, I know where all my teammates are because we've been playing together so long, and so I don't even have to
yeah,
think. I know Caden's right, back there.
right. Yeah, I'd say that's definitely probably the hardest part is I don't know them. I've known them for a week, and so getting to learn how they play and just their individual styles and personalities really affects the game. Um, but it's like, especially like I'm playing center back for this team, so getting to know the back line and our goalie. The goalie's my roommate, so that's helped a lot. Um, but I'd say they're all super friendly girls. Like it's so easy to get along with them, and like they're super nice and welcoming. And so I felt right at home with the team. They're super good at that.
And you guys are doing really, really well because if you have a 2-0 shutout and everything, you guys are doing something right. uh,
Yeah,
Coach,
that's
it is your responsibility literally to not only like scout these players, vet their talent, but also to get them on the same page. Talk to me first about communication because as long as I've known you, you always said that communication is such a huge part of the way you instruct the game.
Yeah. I think with a lot of our clubs. So right now I'm coaching St. James. It's a academy elite team. So we're part of the Girls Academy program. So kind of how this kind of all fell together, which kind of goes along with your question, was I was talking with Caden and a couple others on Guam on trying to get him out here to play. So what was really lucky for us and for Caden is it worked for her to come a week early, and she stayed with me and trained with the team before we came. We've had some guest players come in for us from Hawaii with a couple of connections I have in Hawaii, and they just showed up to the tournament. So for Caden, it was actually really good because she was able to come to training a couple of times, get to know the girls before we even came out here. So she came to the East Coast first and then came all the way to the West Coast for the tournament. So with the communication and stuff, I always just emphasize to the girls, we're only helping each other the more we communicate, as long as we're doing it in a positive manner. And our girls were so excited to have her. They're so excited to have a new friend, a new connection, a new in the world of elite sports. Sometimes it gets so lost on being super competitive with your teammates. But I think for us, it was so fun to have some different players kind of come in, boost our roster, but also just it was fun for the girls to get to know them, different ways of life, different school experiences, different whatever. So it's been really fun to watch the girls gel and get together as the tournament kind of goes on.
And of course, the most fun thing you can have, like if you're having new teammates and new friends, a new follower on Instagram, I would assume.
yeah, yeah. That's so important.
Very good. Okay, so Kaden, coming off like such a amazing season, and you guys had a really really good run in the playoffs. You guys ran into Academy, like in the consolation game, but then you go straight into this kind of training and everything. Did you feel that being at that tempo allowed you to transition better because you were already like at peak game mode, or did you need to kind of like take a break and say, okay, like my mind, my game, my body needs to like relax for like a few days before I get back into it?
Yeah, no, I say the high level of playing that came off of high school season coming into this was really helpful, especially because with nationals we've been prepping for our trip in August to Malaysia and the Philippines, and so from third place championship game whatever to like I had 3 weeks on Guam before flying out to DC. And so it's been go, go, go. Like I haven't stopped training at that high level because
You
we
also
were
had final
preparing.
exam soon.
Right, yes, that too. Yeah. So I think my body's just been in this rhythm of competitive conditioning and just like staying in the game, which I think has been really helpful.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Coach, what is the, how much, I mean, you guys are obviously in tournament mode right now, but how much, conditioning, rest, mental wellness, like I know a lot of teams, like the Academy volleyball team tells me that they do like a lot of, like meditation and breathing together, like as a team and everything. Like, how much do you actually like do that, when you're off the pitch?
Yeah. So we, with our girls in our preseason and in all of that, we have a bunch of mental health clinics, and we have a bunch of partners within our club. So we have a mental health awareness coach that comes in, works with both our coaches and our players. And then we also have a high performance academy that Caden was actually able to go check out at our big facility right outside of DC. So our girls will go there, use the gym. They can get in the gym programs there as well for supplemental training, as well as our normal strength, agility, whatever we do during training. And then when we come to tournaments like this, it's really cool because it's a very focused environment. So we have team meetings, we have video analysis, we have, they get together for breakfast and they're going to the beach together, stuff like that, where they're bonding off the pitch as well as on the pitch. So we stress that throughout the season, but then especially when it gets focused in a tournament, because you're all here, you're all, we're staying at the same hotels, we're eating the same meals, we're doing that same stuff. So it kind of heightens that and compresses it into a weekend, which is great. For our girls, we're on the tail end of our season. So this is actually our last tournament, our last summer showcase. So this is kind of a wrap up of the season for them, which is great. The timing is really good for them. The college coaches are out, and which is a whole nother aspect of this. But yeah, so for us, it's kind of wrapping up the season. But yeah, we still have the mental health side of it as well as the, they get in the hot tubs to make sure they're relaxing their muscles. They get, up in the morning and stretching and stuff. And so it's all part of the kind of whole package of taking care of yourself as an elite athlete at this level. So it all
There you
it
go.
all intertwines together.
And I know, again, as long as I've been watching and just being a big fan of your coaching, is one thing that you've always said to all of your teams, like throughout all levels, is you always say like together, right? Like
Yeah.
if
Yep.
we, if we lose, 25-0 and everything, we're going to do this
Yep.
together.
Yep.
You're gonna get a massive chewing out afterwards, but we're going to do this together too.
We're together, so it's
Okay.
okay.
And Caden, coach just touched on that because you're an incoming senior at Harvest. You guys had a stacked roster this year. You guys had four girls made the first team All Island team. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
You're now in front of college coaches. So what is your dream school to play for? And what are your plans and how do you want to get a look from those coaches at the next level?
Yeah, so I think right now my top school is University of Central Oklahoma. It's UCO, the initials. So they're actually at this tournament, so I'm hoping for a chance for them to come see me play. Um, I've sent out emails to some coaches, and I have a sports recruit account, which is where college coaches can go to look at, see highlight videos, and just like all my academic information, stuff like that.
Very cool. Well, you got us at KUM if you want to make a highlight reel too. So, we're happy to hook you up in that regard.
Thank you.
Okay, and what about your game going into your senior year? You're getting this elite level experience through, Coach Kristin and then with the national program and everything. But what about your game in your own assessment? Do you want to work on more? What tools do you want to add to like the way you play the beautiful game?
Yeah, so something that I've really noticed is it's like everywhere people are getting injured a lot in like women's sport, like women's soccer. Like there's been so many injuries recently, and even like with my high school team, like the whole season, it just felt like someone was always injured. And so something I really want to work on is as a team, like really taking care of like our body before the games and during practice, and like taking longer to stretch and prepare for practices. Like they do band work before every practice and game, which I think is something that's like I'll probably want to intimate and probably want to put into our game at Harvest, because it's going to help with like muscle strength and just keeping our bodies in a position that we won't get injured as easily. So that's for the team. And then for me personally, I really want to work on how quick I can play the ball and be under pressure and like stay composed. As a center back and as a captain for the team, it's really important that I can stay in control and composed the
Now,
whole time.
Coach, we got a real one here because I asked her, "What do you want to work out about your game?" And her very first thing was to defer and said, "I'm all about the team. This is what we have to do. This is how we're going to train. This is how we're going to get better." And oh, then at the end, yeah, I want to work on my communication. I want to be a better captain and everything. So, I mean, that's why you're a rock star, Caden.
Thank you.
Yeah. And the league this year, like the high school league, was absolutely stacked. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a very, very high tempo, like really high caliber league. Talk to me about like what the regular season was like, because like every team had talent.
Yeah, absolutely. I know it was super fun because like with nationals, I have friends on every team, and it's always fun going into games because there's going to be someone that and you're friends with, and so there's a competitive level, and then also off the like after the game, like giving them a hug and saying like good job, no matter if you win or lose, because that's just the Guam culture, is everyone.
Absolutely.
But I'd say yeah, it was a super competitive season, and I know for us at Harvest, we were expecting a little more from it. I think we were a little disappointed with the outcome of fourth place. Like I feel like as a team, we felt like we could have done better, but we also know that we were dealing with some players getting injured and leaving, and it was just something that was thrown off course a little bit in our game. And so we know that we, for the most part, did the best that we could. But yeah.
Okay. Well, Coach, Caden is the if not the very, very first, she is the latest in a pipeline that you're absolutely establishing so that we can get like our talent. You still have, your feelers out here and everything. You still keep in touch with like all of the girls, and you tell me, like your WhatsApp. I mean, the fact that you WhatsApp me is crazy because I know you're constantly chatting with people. But you're going to give more young athletes opportunities to be seen and to take their games to levels unseen before too.
Yeah. So one of my biggest goals in kind of my transition back here to the States was a big realization of how much our elite athletes on Guam are overlooked, underappreciated when it comes to the craziness of college recruiting, which the more I learn about it, the more insane it is. I feel like it's kind of a system you have to keep learning as things are changing and apps are changing and how college recruiting happens is changing. And there's stuff that changed just last week about rules and all this stuff. So for me, coming off the island and getting, I played in college coming off of Guam, and it's such an overwhelming process. I want to help be the bridge between the two. I've had a really long conversation with, like I said, we have some players from Hawaii too, just to help those island girls that they're the best on their island and they're really good. But then you put them in a different environment and they realize not that they're bad, but just how much they can still improve to then get these different opportunities. And for me, getting them in front of these college coaches, I mean, we've had 2 games and we have literally 75 plus college coaches who have seen her play. And it's anywhere from D1, like high D1 colleges, all the way to D3 colleges. So it's a very balanced environment of, I always tell players, if you want to play in college, there's a place for you to play. We just have to find it.
And there is nothing wrong with JUCO. Junior colleges are a fantastic stepping stone. So I know a lot of people that got their start in JUCO and they went on to like Division I national championships.
Yeah, it's such a changing world and changing environment that just even a little bit of help navigating. We were able to help Caden get into. We put her in our sports recruit profile just to help her set up her profile to even point coaches to, giving tips on this is how to make video clips. This is what coaches are looking for. This is what coaches aren't looking for. This is how to make your email stand out from the 50 million emails a college coach gets every day. So just little stuff like that I can help with now that I know the system better. From here, and then the next step up would be something like what Caden was able to do, where she came here, played with our team, guest played on our team, was in our brochures, was in all of our material coming into the tournament. So the coaches can sit there and look, this is her GPA, this is where she wants to go, this is where she's been playing, here's her stats, here's her this, here's her clips, here's her that. So then it's the exposure. I mean, the more colleges that see you, the better. People start talking on the sidelines. Like I'll hear from coaches about players for months to come now with the recruiting window. But for me, it's getting these girls in front of these coaches, because no college coaches coming to Guam scouting players for these at this quantity, I guess is a good way to say it. You know, like I said, she's going to have played 3 games in front of 100 plus college coaches from all over the U.S. There's colleges from Hawaii. There are colleges from international as well. But I just want to give that opportunity to girls on Guam and Hawaii who they're never going to get seen by that many college coaches. And even if they have no clue where to even start, that's where I kind of want to help them to be able to say, hey, look, here's some tips, here's some stuff. Talk to the parents, get them hooked up with different easy ways to do it. And then ultimately, if they're able to do what Caden was able to do, great. I mean, we have teams at every age level going every direction all the time. And we're always looking for guest players. For me, I'd rather grab a guest player from Guam than, you know, from the state next door, because for me, that's where my passion is, to get those kids seen. So I told Caden she was kind of the guinea pig. She was the first one to do it. So I'm so excited she was able to do it. And then I hope it kind of opens the door to more girls to see that it can be done. And then at whatever level they want to be seen at or play at, I can help them then achieve that through the position I have now with the club I'm at now.
And
So
you're both two really, really good Southern Guam girls. We got Talafofo and Jonia in the house.
I know,
right? Biba South.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so Caden, final thoughts from you. What has this experience meant for you as far as, you know, being able to connect with coach and like your new teammates and everything, but just overall and hopefully what the dividends it's going to pay for you as your career continues to progress.
Yeah, I'd say a big part of coming out here and realizing for me was like in Guam, there's 2 things about it. Like, so on like the good note, I'm getting to play at a really high level, like with the national team, and I'm not paying anything for it. Like with nationals, it's like they recruit you, but once you're on their team, like they fund your trips and you don't pay for training. And I'm getting like, I have a gym coach and I have like physical therapy. Like I have everything that I need to be an elite player on Guam. And that's a really like awesome opportunity for me, because like the girls in this team that I'm playing for are paying thousands of dollars a year to play at this level. So for like players on Guam, it's a really big like privilege opportunity that we have to get to play at such a high level for free. But on the flip side, because we're on an island so far away from everything else, like we're not getting a lot of exposure to colleges and to just like more competitive soccer, because all of our teams, we like play each other like 3 times in a season. So it's
exactly.
Like, so that we're playing a lot of the same people. And so if you're the best on the island, then there's not a lot of players to push you to be better. And so
what Coach Kristin is really exceptional at is really getting you and your peer group and, you know, like many female athletes just like yourself to really realize your full potential and saying like, yeah, just let me have you concentrate on your craft and your game and everything. You don't need to come over here and like turn the lights on and set up the net and, you know, like, you know, get everything all squared away. Just come out here and just do what you do. Right. And you'll be the best version of yourself.
Yeah. Cause for me, a big thing was like coming out and realizing, okay, I have talent, but I'm like not anything like crazy. But like, I'm not like the best player in the world. Like I'm coming out here and I'm playing on a field with girls who are all at the same level of me or better. Like,
okay. Bonus question. That can be very, very humbling for a lot of athletes and everything. Was it a transition for you, or how did you have to like adjust? Cause I mean, that's the true measure of a champion right there, is you can say, okay, back home, you know, I'm one of one, but you know, like I go there and all these girls are on the same level as me. How do you actually adjust to that?
I think Coach Kristin kind of prepared me for that a little bit. And also like my dad's a coach and he's seen the States level and stuff. And so I've always been aware, like in the States, the level of play is higher and competition is much more competitive. And so I was aware that coming into it, I wasn't going to be the best of the best. Like that was not my expectation at all. So I think mentally I came in not like, it wasn't a big shock, because I was prepping myself to know like, hey, you're coming in to become better, not to be the best. So.
Absolutely. Well, we are absolutely looking forward and expecting like great things from you in your senior year at Harvest. And, you know, Coach, the contributions that you've made to Caden and then for many more girls to come and everything like that is absolutely impressive. And we really, really support you 100%.
Yeah, for sure. I want to give back to the island that gave me so much, you know, growing up there, playing on the national team, coaching the national team. I feel like I owe Guam a big debt, so I'm just trying to pay it back.
Okay, you know what? You know what's one way you can pay that debt back? Send us some of that Chick-fil-A that you ladies just had before this interview.
Okay.
Okay, at least send me the sauce, just the sauce. The chicken's not going to travel well, but just the sauce. Okay, well, Kristin Thompson and Caden Milner, we are very, very proud of you guys, and have a wonderful time like out there. I know there's more things to come in the summer, and travel home safely.
Thank
so
you.
much.
All right, thanks, you guys.
Thanks.
Bye. Bye.